Coming up on Network Africa. At least 37 people die in a car bomb attack in northern Mali. Gambian lawmakers vote for President Yahya Jammeh to stay in power for another 90 days. And Zimbabwe bans street food vendors in a bid to stop typhoid outbreak. Hello and welcome to the program. I'm Temitokwe Fagbemi. At least 37 people have been killed in northern Mali after a car bomb rocked a military base in the city of Gao. Officials say the camp housed government soldiers as well as former rebels and pro-government militias conducting joint patrols. There have been a number of armed groups operating in Mali in recent years, both ethnic Tuareg separatists and jihadist militants. Some 15,000 UN peacekeepers are in the country following France's intervention in 2013 to oust al-Qaeda-linked militants from the north of the country. In the meantime, President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta has declared 3 days of national mourning following the massive suicide car bomb explosion in Goa. The Gambia's Parliament has extended President Yahya Jammeh's term, which is due to end tomorrow, by 90 days. It also approved its decision to declare a 90-day state of emergency in the tiny West African state. Regional leaders have threatened to use military force to oust Mr. Jammeh if he refuses to hand over power to President-elect Adama Barrow on Thursday. Meanwhile, thousands of UK and Dutch tourists have been evacuated from the Gambia. This comes as thousands of Gambian citizens also flee the capital Banjul and the country.
At a bus station on the outskirts of Gambia's capital Banjul, people are packing into buses that will take them far from their homes. The exodus comes as President Yahya Jammeh declared a state of emergency on Tuesday.
I, say Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya AJJ Jammeh, Babili Mansa, President of the Islamic Republic of the Gambia and Commander-in-Chief of the Gambia Armed Forces, acting under the provisions of Section 34, subsection 1, paragraph B, of the Constitution of the Islamic Republic of the Gambia, today the 17th of January 2017, hereby declare a state of public emergency throughout the Islamic Republic of the Gambia as a situation exists which, if it is allowed to continue, may lead to a state of public emergency.
Buses are heading to towns like Basse and Bassang, more than 300 kilometers from Banjul, and even to Senegal's Casamance region, south of Gambia. A string of top-level government ministers have resigned as the president insists he will not hand over power when his mandate expires, while other officials, including the foreign minister, have also left the country. In addition to the internal domestic turmoil, Nigeria and other West African nations are said to be preparing to intervene militarily. President-elect and opposition leader Adama Barrow is due to be inaugurated at Bakau's Independence Square on Thursday, January 19, but ceremony preparations are nowhere in sight. In the meantime, the Gambian Parliament has extended the tenure of President Jammeh by 90 days. President Jammeh took power in a coup in 1994, and his government gained reputation for torturing and killing of perceived opponents. Pro-democracy activists across Africa welcomed Jammeh's defeat, and his refusal to step down has provoked a test of mettle for regional leaders.
This story from a research fellow at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. Professor Charles Dokubo, you're welcome to the program.
Well, thanks for having me.
What do you make of President Jammeh's decision to declare a state of emergency and the Parliament's decision to extend the president's rule for 90 days?
Members of the Parliament are handpicked by Jammeh, and that for him to prolong the life of Parliament anyhow, He so further give him illegal powers that he does not have. He has lost elections, and yet he's power. But I think he has failed in the negotiations that the ECOWAS region has made. So let's look up from there. The state of emergency, and then if people start to revolt and go on the street and vote with their legs, what will happen? Issues that we have to look up to.
Now, Nigeria has sent a warship to the Gambia, and ECOWAS is also threatened to intervene militarily if Adama Barrow is not sworn into office tomorrow. Now, should the bloc act immediately, or should they wait till the end of the 90 days before reacting to President Jammeh's defiance?
If you look at the legal means of dealing with such issues, he has the right to contest the outcome of the election. But the way he's taken over taking on West African leader and decide most of us suspect if he's going to accept the pronouncement of the So I think we have to think about sanctions and how to deal with the Gambian. Because Yahya Jammeh is a man that is bent on hanging on to power. And I doubt he's going to step down.
Now, Western countries in the past have used sanctions to punish some African leaders like Zimbabwe's Robert Mugabe and Sudan's Omar al-Bashir, who are still in office despite all the sanctions. So just how effective will the use of sanctions be on President Jammeh, who has criticized all intervention?
The sanction against the Gambia and against President Yahya Jammeh will be effective. Will be effective in the sense that what we are going to propose is about a no-fly zone to the Gambia. The Gambian economy is mainly based on tourism and all that. So if tour is going to that place, definitely the Cobo economy. So definitely the ECOWAS leader should take not only smart, also comprehensive sanctions. Although it is going to affect those that are not affected, that are not part of the system, but it's a road worth trying.
Now, out of curiosity, Professor, shouldn't the Gambia's Electoral Commission also bear some responsibility for this crisis, considering the fact that President Jammeh changed his decision to concede defeat after the Commission said it made some mistakes in the election results?
The fact is that there is an opening between the swearing in of Jammeh and also the election results. So what we have to do is that you don't have to bring an election commission. They've done their work. And at that time, Jammeh even said that he was going to accept all whatever it takes in terms of the results. But then he changed his mind. And that's why we are all in this trouble. If Jammeh has adhered to the call and the Council of the Electoral Commission, I doubt if anybody will question the integrity of the Electoral Commission.
So what lessons can other African countries learn from this crisis in the Gambia as regards the conduct of presidential elections?
The fact that most African presidents want to stay, sit tight on that system is one thing. But the wind of change is blowing all through Africa. And Africa has only game in the world. So I think that anyone who stands against that tide of democratic change in Africa, the leader will be ostracized, at times are marginalized. And if it is done that way, I doubt if most leaders will even think of the option of cancelling elections or defying the vote of the people.
Professor Charles Cobo, thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa. Still talking politics, a Zimbabwean pastor who predicted the death of President Robert Mugabe has appeared in court in the capital, Harare. Patrick Mugabe announced last week that the 92-year-old head of state will die on October the 17th this year. His lawyer, Gift Mtisi, says that he was relaying a message from God, and the police would have to prove that God didn't say so. Mr. Mtisi said his client had initially been charged with undermining the authority of the president, then criminal nuisance, and finally insulting people of a certain race or religion. President Mugabe has often mocked frequent rumors of his death, saying he has been resurrected more often than Jesus Christ.